Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. All right, story time. A few months ago, I got introduced to the representative for Basso Bikes. Basso Bikes is a manufacturer of performance bikes in Italy, and they still, unlike most companies, still manufacture their bikes 100% in Italy. And one of their flagship bikes is called the Basso Diamante, and he offered to configure a bike, send it out for me to bring onto the channel and introduce it to you guys, give my raw, unbiased opinion, all the good, all the bad, all of the things that I would change. And I was happy to do that. The first video that I did was just kind of like an initial ride impression, ride evaluation video. And I felt like the bike was a quality bike, was solid, very well made. It was clearly a performance oriented bike, but I felt like the bike was let down by the wheel set that was on the bike, which was a wheel set called Microtech. And I felt like it made the bike accelerate sluggishly, and it made the bike, well, it just made the bike slow. So the first kind of evaluation that I did on the bike was a wheel set upgrade. I had a set of Super Team S All Carbon Evo, which I had brought onto the channel also for an evaluation. When I put that wheel set on the bike, it unlocked a lot of the performance that I felt that I did not experience initially on the bike. And shortly after that, I did a three-way evaluation where I compared the Basso Diamante to the Blackheart Road Tie, which is also a bike that I had on the channel. And I compared both of those bikes to my Steel Performance bike, which is a Dark Star made out of Columbus Spirit tubing. And the Basso didn't really win any of the categories. It didn't really like blow the socks off of the competition. It was just kind of always just like the sensible choice, just always kind of there, right? And then I did another wheel set upgrade, which is a lightweight Obermeyer Evo. And what that did was it unlocked a little bit more of the acceleration characteristics out of the bike. All of those videos are running on my channel. I'll put links so that you can check them out. But the bike came equipped with the Microtech wheels, but also the Groupset was SRAM Force, which works well. But I've always felt like the SRAM family, it's not the fastest shifting. If you ever had an opportunity to ride a Campagnolo Super Record EPS properly set up in race mode, you realize how fast and tactile that shifting is with the Campagnolo Groupset. So it just so happened that I had a Super Record 12-speed EPS for disc brakes. It's kind of sitting around in a box, trying to figure out what I was going to do with them. Don't think that I'm just sitting around on group sets. I don't have it like that. It's a long story how I came upon that group set. I'll tell it one day, but I contacted the Basso rep and I was like, hey, I have this idea to upgrade the group set. I know it's not my bike. I've got to give it back. But I just think that this will allow me to learn a little bit more about the bike. It may make it better, may make it worse. I don't know what it's going to do, but let's at least put it on there and see. And he thought it was a brilliant idea. He greenlit the project. The bike went down to City Bikes Aventura for Brandon and his team to work on it. And in this video, what I'm going to talk about what the entire process was like. We're going to weigh the bike. I'm going to share a little bit of banter about it. I'm going to talk about what it was like for me to bring the bike back home, fine tune the EPS system because it's something that you got to play around with a little bit on the app, then take it out there in a group ride. And I'm going to share what I think it's like to ride the bike with what I would call an upgraded group set. And I'm excited about this because this is almost like new bike day, right? When you do everything you can to unlock all the performance of a bike. So, all right, I can't wait to find out how this thing works. All right, let's go. Almost new bike day. Did you weigh it, Brandon?
No, I'm gonna put it on the scale. Right
okay. Now. Obviously, the first thing we do before any bike upgrade is a weigh-in, and this project is no exception.
I don't care which one. Come around so you can see this.
Yeah.
What do you want, in kilos or pounds?
Doesn't matter. What do you got it in kilos?
No, it's in pounds right now.
Given a difference in configurations between the two systems, I thought this would be a really neat revelation.
And then for your, UK folks,
all right.
they're operating kilos.
So the bike would be left overnight. I don't know about you, but it's always very weird for me to leave my bike overnight. Anyway, one of the build items that I brought back with me was the crankset. I'm using an H11, which had been on another build, so overnight I had to swap out the chainring from 1x to 5034. While I waited for the tuning to be completed, I couldn't resist a little candy store walk around in a bike shop Let me know if you see anything you like. So after all the build and tuning, it was time once again for the scales of truth. Oh, it is lighter. It was 16.15. Yeah.
Or was it 15 point something before?
Nah.
You sure?
I'm
Go on your videos.
Yeah.
Hold on. This I'ma know. Oh yeah, because it was 7.64 kilos.
So we lost a little weight.
7.3 kilos. Yep.
Good morning. So yesterday I picked the bike up from City Bikes after having the Groupset swap from the SRAM Force to the Campagnolo Super Record EPS 12-speed. First thing is we did drop a few grams. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. I'll share it in here what the difference was in terms of weight. Once I got the bike home, one of the things that I needed to do was I need to pair the interface system with the MyCampy app, and that's always a little bit of a challenge. There's like a series of steps that you have to do, and it's kind of hit and miss getting into the MyCampy app. Once you get in there, it's great, but getting in there can be a little bit of a challenge. So the initial pairing did not take. Then I came out and I just tried to do like a normal Bluetooth pairing. Obviously that didn't take. It gave me the signal that you're gonna need an app to run this program. And then when I went back in to do the pairing with the MyCampy app and the correct interface number. By the way, when you try to pair something with the MyCampy app, the interface, your phone will tell you that you need to enter in a 4-digit code. It'll say 0000 or try 1234. It's neither one of those. There's a 6-digit code that's on the front of your interface, and you need that code to be able to get the MyCampy app to recognize the interface so that you can get in there. Once you're in there, you can do things like change the shifting mode. Like there's race, there's performance, and there's comfort. I like it on race because I get faster shifts that way. I'm gonna take the bike out on ride 84. I came down early to get my coffee. I have it charged right now. I'm gonna try to do the interface firmware update. I may not have time, but it's fine. The system shifts fine as it is right now. So that's the story and where we're at. I'll check in later on and I'll let you guys know how the bike did on the ride. Cheers. All right, ride impression times. I took the bike out to ride 84 for the A group, kind of to do a shakeout. Obviously, there isn't any incredible high expectation that I have upon changing a group set, especially with just like a 34-gram weight saving. It isn't going to be something that I feel. A couple of installation notes though. The cassette is an Ultegra 1130 that has one cog jump that I don't like. It just was what was on the wheel. I will be switching the hub to Campy, and then I'll either do an 1129 or I'm also considering doing the Campy N3W hub and using a 1025 cassette on that. That would really be awesome down here on the flat roads. While the 5034 is better than me having that 4835 from SRAM, I still either need a 5236, which I do have, and I can easily swap that out, or I might hunt down a 5339. There's no climbing here, so 5034 is absolutely not necessary. All right, so real ride impressions. As suspected, the EPS shifts noticeably faster and more definitively than the SRAM Force. While pedaling and shifting, there is a synced feeling that I only get from Campagnolo. It is the same kind of feeling that I get from Campy Mechanical, only faster, and it's just kind of hard to describe. You just know it's different, but it's better than all the other group sets. And I'm really being objective here because I've ridden everything. Yes, I am partial to Campy, but to me, the EPS is faster than Dura-Ace. It's also faster than the SRAM Force Red system. My admonishments regarding Campy EPS is that it needs to be set up properly by someone who absolutely knows what they're doing. And then once you do, it's absolutely golden. Once I've had these things set up properly, no issue. But if I like swap out a wheel set or something like that and then encounter some changes, then yes, it might be a little bit quirky, a little bit weird until I do another zero reset and get the system back online. The ergonomics are what I love, and I'm really at home with the thumb shifter. One thing about the Campy hoods versus SRAM is that it seems like a nicer place for my hands to spend time. One issue I did have on this ride was the rear tire was slow leaking, which I discovered shortly after this segment right here. I have been having issues of late with Vittoria, and I have gradually been shifting over to Pirelli. My old Vittoria stuff still works great, but not happy with some of the new stuff that I've been dealing with. It's just kind of draggy feeling that didn't identify itself until after the ride, where I realized I went from 70 psi to 40 psi. Front wheel, however, was absolutely fine. So I did the first half of the ride with the A group. 19 miles, 22 mile an hour average. The bike feels good, but the thing is, when you first like put a bike together or build a bike, you kind of like feel all kind of stuff, feel like draggy stuff. You think you're hearing things, and I kept feeling like anytime I came off from a stop, I kept feeling like I was hearing some dragginess. I have no idea what that is, but I certainly want to check it out. I don't know if it's the brake pads auto adjusting and giving me some rub initially when I take off, like compensating for the fact that the caliper is really pushed in. But then when you get rolling, the bike feels really good. It's really, it's always been responsive. The Groupset didn't make the bike more responsive, okay? But the bike is a very responsive bike. It's deceptive because the bike is so smooth that you don't, I don't even know how to say it, man. It's like you're accelerating quickly, you just don't feel like you're accelerating as quickly as you are because of how kind of plush the bike is. And you know that thing to say, like, if you're comfortable, you're fast. That's really, really true with this bike. But I do need to get the brake situation sorted out, and also the position of the hoods. I need to rotate them back up towards me a little bit more, and I gotta double check my position, my saddle position, because you know how it is. Even if somebody marks it, they move it. So I'm gonna wait for the C group. I really want some coffee from Graciano. So this lady told me to. I don't know if my thing is gonna film. There's a rainbow. Oh, woo, beautiful. Never a dull moment. I love South Florida. So most cyclists have an idea that's usually born out of some sort of emotional stimulation to upgrade our bike. It could be something that we saw on Instagram. We go out to a group ride and we see the things that other people are riding, or we just have a really rough time on a ride and we start thinking, man, I would like to make it lighter. I would like to make it faster, and making it prettier certainly won't hurt. Well, here's the rub. There's no substantive performance increase into this Groupset swap. Yes, the shifting is marginally faster, and that is much more appealing on spirited rides I like to do, where I prefer the immediacy of the EPS over what I get from SRAM Red and Force as I'm coming out of corners, trying to close gaps, trying to optimize my power and my cadence. So it's really about making the bike better. And by better, I don't necessarily mean faster or lighter, but better to ride for me. And that leaves me with the last aspect of doing an upgrade, and that's the aesthetics, the way it looks. The exposed sculpted carbon componentry, I think not only are they beautiful, but I think that they complement what the Basso Diamante has going on with the kind of like sculpted angular look towards the back with the exposed carbon. And then the very swoopy, swooshy design elements of the front go very well with the Campagnolo hoods and those kind of like the design of the brake levers with the slots on them. The whole thing just really, really looks good. So for me, I tick all of the boxes that I wanted to tick. The bike is aesthetically better. I like the complement of the componentry to the frame. I've saved a little bit of weight, and I've increased the way how the bike reacts to my riding style. So for me, it's performing better. And that's my story, that I might have started out emotionally but I'm able to defend it with logic. Let me know what your thoughts are on upgrades, whether or not you leave it to the wheels and maybe your touch points, or do you delve into going from 105 to Ultegra to Dura-Ace, or do you just say, I'm done with that bike, I'm going to the next one? Sound off in the comment section below. Thank you for continuing to support the channel by watching our videos, by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And as always, our aim here is to inform, instruct, inspire. Be blessed.